Hello, everyone. My name is Deacon Joel Brackett, a deacon here at St. Teresa's. Today, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about how to suffer well. You know, suffering is something that's really inevitable in this life. Be it big or small, we can't really avoid it no matter what we do. Suffering can be big, it can be something like a sickness. It can be something like a broken relationship, an addiction we're going through, poverty that we're struggling with, etc. There are these really big sufferings that can be in our lives. But today, in our short time, I just want to talk really about those little tiny moments of suffering and annoyances and seemingly insignificant frustrations that we experience just as humans, just living in this world. So I'm thinking of things like a red light that's just taking too long, or that person that just really gets on our nerves that we have to encounter every day, that crick in your neck that you woke up with. Maybe someone messed up your meal at a restaurant. Just those little things. I think we all know what I'm talking about. That try to obstruct and affect our peace just in the day in, day out of our lives. Sometimes it actually takes more courage to endure those small sufferings faithfully than the really big sufferings in our life. And with the really big sufferings, we can. It's easier to become. To approach those sufferings in a heroic manner, whereas the little sufferings, we try to avoid them, we try to run away from them. And so I think we all know that our tendency, just kind of in our modern 21st century Western culture, is that we try to avoid suffering at all costs. And I think there's no hiding from that. That's just the world we live in. But Christians, we don't seek to suffer for suffering's sake. We're not masochists, right? Suffering's not a good in itself. Rather, we see suffering as an opportunity to love, an opportunity to grow in virtue, to love ever more purely and more faithfully. And so suffering is a means for Christians, but is not an end. And so because of that, we believe that suffering can be redemptive. Matthew 10:38 says, "Whoever does not take up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me." A cross is an instrument of sanctification and salvation. Our own Lord took a cross upon his shoulders, and he's calling all of us to do our same. Again, not just in those big, intense moments of suffering, but in the little things of the daily life. So we are to follow in his path and to become little Christs in the world, to grow in virtue and to grow in patience and to love ever more purely through these sufferings. But another element of these sufferings that I think we forget about a lot is that we can offer up these sufferings to God and draw down graces upon those whom we love, just upon situations that are dark in this world. Fulton Sheen once said, "There is nothing more tragic in all the world than wasted pain." See, the true cross is to bear the small sufferings with holiness and to offer them to the Father in union with the cross of Christ and beg him through our own suffering to draw down his heavenly graces upon the people we love, upon those who need it most. And so briefly, I want to give us 3 ways. There are 3 possible ways that we can approach little sufferings whenever they come before us. And this is coming from a spiritual writer named Jacques Philippe. We can either rebel, that is, we can totally reject the reality and say, I'm going to run from that suffering, I don't want that. The second option is to resign. That is, we can say, I don't really have a choice. It's sort of an inevitable suffering, whatever. It's going to happen. I don't care. So we can rebel, we can resign, or we can consent. That is, we can receive it as a gift from God and choose it for ourselves. That little red light, that little annoyance at the restaurant, that little person that drives us crazy, we can receive it as a gift to love evermore and choose it for ourselves. This is what our mother Mary did in her fiat. She said, "Let it be done to me according to thy will, O Lord." She received it as her own, as a gift. And that's what we're called to do every day and in every moment. And so let's practice offering our little sufferings up to God in union with Jesus. We can say, God, in union with the cross of Christ, I offer you this. And especially in the Mass is whenever we come together and we offer our entire lives, the sacrifice of our whole lives in union with Jesus to the Father, begging God's mercy and graces upon the whole world. May God bless you all.